Strategic planning is biblical. Oftentimes, we put a separation between our working lives and our lives as a Christ follower, don't we? One of the areas where this is most prevalent may be the area of strategic planning and business plan development. You might think, whatever does the Bible have to do with strategy and planning? Aren't those areas a little far removed from my life and my daily activities as a Christ follower? Yes and no. Yes, it's true we don't hear much, if anything, about strategy and business planning at church, in our small group, and neither does it spring out at us from the pages of the Bible. But no, the Bible is also not far removed from our daily business activities, even those of strategy and planning. As we begin this study of what the Bible says for our business lives, there's no better place to start than with the words of Jesus himself. Let's look at Luke chapter 14, verse 28. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Wow, that's Jesus dispensing practical advice for every project we might ever manage. And about 1,000 years earlier, wise King Solomon dispensed similar advice in the book of Proverbs, suggesting that strategy and planning is a requirement for profitable operations. Read these verses carefully, and I've paraphrased them in a way to capture the meaning, especially for our situation today. Listen, Proverbs 21, verse 5. Attentive leadership achieves healthy profits. Operations executed hastily precede failure. And Proverbs 20, verse 18. Successful business strategy comes from research and experience of many, so get your guidance before you launch. Wow, those words may seem surprising in how practical they are, but strategy and other elements of business planning are biblical. Jesus has a second example in Luke chapter 14, verse 31, where he says, or suppose your company plans to enter a market where others are already successful. Won't you first sit down and consider whether your resources and plans are adequate to secure a profitable market position? Wow. Strategic planning is clearly encouraged and supported by the Bible. In the rest of this series, we'll look for additional wisdom on how best to lead in this area as a Christ follower tasked with the responsibility of business leadership. That's a sacred calling. Join me.